So just remember, guys, in life, your beliefs create your reality. What you believe in will determine your outer experience. It's all an inside game, so within, so without. So whatever you believe inside will determine your outside experience. So I would rather hold the beliefs that are going to help me win, succeed, and be better at sales. Okay. So this is just a belief, three key beliefs that I have before every call, and I love these ones. I choose to hold 100% certainty and belief that this is the right opportunity and right timing with every lead I speak with. What a powerful belief to have, that you believe every lead you speak with is closable, that it's the right opportunity and right timing. And whether that, intangible reality happens or not, it's a powerful belief to have versus going, oh, the leads are shit. Oh, no one wants to buy now. It's a recession. Or, everybody is saying, let's push it back. It's Christmas time until next year because they're going on holidays. So if you have junk beliefs before even touching a lead, then you're going to create that experience because you're, projecting that onto the leads because of your own internal dialogue and belief system. Whereas if you're holding with ironclad certainty that I choose to hold 100% certainty that this is the right opportunity and right timing for every lead I speak with, it doesn't matter if it's Christmas, Father's Day, their birthday, any time of the year, their biggest problem doesn't go away. If you're overweight, you're still overweight, whether it's Christmas Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day, your birthday. If you're overweight, you're overweight. If you're broke, you're broke. If you've got a relationship that's toxic, you still got a relationship that's toxic. So just a date doesn't change their biggest problem. You know what I mean? So sometimes you've got to get people to see that and reframe it. The next one is they can buy, they came to buy, they will buy. You need to hold this with conviction, guys. This will transfer through your sales calls. They can buy, they came to buy, they will buy. You're holding this internally, but you're not you're not projecting sales pressure on them or being salesy, but it's like internal belief that you have so that your inner game is on point. And you believe that every lead is closable. They can buy, they came to buy, they will buy. And this is the belief that I hold. If they're in enough pain or you had a gun to their head or they had a family member with like cancer or a medical bill they needed to pay, when people are uncomfortable, they will go, build massive sense of urgency and they'll make way rapid changes in a shorter period of time. So anything they say on a sales call is just bullshit. They're just not committed more than their comfort zone to make sacrifices with their time, energy, put themselves out of their comfort zone. But when it's do or die, life or death, or they've got someone they love that needs help, people, you can see it. They do things that they normally wouldn't do because they don't have a choice. The next one is I know with 100% certainty and belief that everybody that does the work and implements what we offer gets results. So sometimes salespeople or business owners, they have a fear of speaking with conviction or doing good guarantees or selling people really strongly because they don't back their service delivery and what they offer. So my belief in everything that I've ever sold is that as long as someone does the work, they get results. It's 100% success rate for everybody that actually goes through, soaks everything up and does the work. And it's actually true. If you give someone, the calories to follow, the macros, the food to eat, and they plug into MyFitnessPal every day and actually follow it, and they go to the gym and they lift weights and follow your plan 3 times a week and progressively overload, they drink 3 liters of water, they get 7 hours of sleep or more, and they do 10,000 steps a day, they're going to lose weight and put on muscle. It's so simple. And it's the same thing with our program. If you do 20 hours of role play on the scripts, you study my sales calls, you go through our portal 2 times, you take detailed notes, you're on every weekly call live, you ask questions, you get out, you add value to the industry, you network, you start building a personal brand and posting online, or you start connecting with people at sales events and in here, or you outbound DM companies you want to work with. And you have that mentality, I'm going to land a high paying sales role, I'm going to die trying. You're going to fucking land the role. It's just that some people don't commit and go through the everything we teach here. They're not on every call. They don't do the role play reps, and they don't go out there with that sense of urgency. But if you really back yourself in and go through everything we teach, you will be successful, because it's impossible not to, because everything I teach you and tell you to do in this training is everything that I'm doing that has gotten me to this level. So I know that it works because everybody that applies it gets results. It's as simple as that. So you need to build your belief around what you sell and know with 100% certainty that if they do the work, they get results. And if they half-ass it and don't go through everything and don't follow what you teach, then that's their responsibility. But like I say to everybody, if you're somebody that can follow a system and a process, and I say to them, are you someone that can follow a step-by-step process and a system? If we give you a portal, will you go through it? Will you come to 2 weekly calls? Will you role play with other members at least one time a day for 30 days? And they're like, yeah, of course, I can do that. Well, I'm like, well, as long as you do that, you're guaranteed success. And can you also commit that you won't quit no matter what you go through, and you'll learn and grow through it? Then that's all you need. As long as you won't quit, you go through everything we teach, you network, collaborate with other people in the industry, get involved, you're going to be successful. And the ones that don't, they just won't. So here are the core sales truths. Learning remote appointment setting and closing is the most important skill for wealth. The only way to fail is to quit. I commit to long-term sales mastery. Number 2, sales and money are easy to make. Remote high-ticket sales is my insurance policy for life. If I ever need money, I can pick up the phone and close. Number 3, there's no shortage of money. There's trillions of dollars of currency in the world right now. Just imagine how much money that is. You just have to go out there and get it. There's no shortage of money. It's just in the hands of people that solve problems and add value in the world. People always find money when it's a necessity or when they are in enough pain or desire. Make the problem urgent enough in their mind and they will buy. It's the same metaphor I gave before. If you put a chainsaw to their leg, they're going to move. If a family member is sick and got a medical bill, they can make moves. There was a story of a young girl that read 30 books in 30 days to cure her mother from cancer. There's stories of, Mother Teresa and all these great people of all time that went out there and were able to, come up with all this money for, great causes to help and change the world. So when you have a really big mission, purpose, and a cause, and a burning desire and sense of urgency, no one's going to stop you. But the reality is, on sales calls, you're dealing with people on a low frequency and vibration. They don't back themselves. They're in scarcity. They're stuck in their first world problems of inflation, cost of living. Oh, I'm only making 1,000 a week. I can't afford 97 a week. And you've got to get them out of that old unresourceful state and adopting a new state of mind, where by the end of the sales call, they feel the urgency to change. And you pump them up with certainty that they can do it. So they've got the belief. Number 5, every buyer is a buyer because they love to buy. So if you believe every lead is closable, they will be closable. If you believe every appointment that qualifies is bookable, they will be. If you believe every appointment will show, then you're going to have higher show rates. Number 6, I am a fast learner. I can learn anything. I am the best at what I do. If you believe you're a fast learner, anytime you get confused or frustrated, you believe it's just learning and you're just leveling up and it's just an upgrade, you're going to do a lot better with learning new skills in life if you believe that you're a fast learner and that knowledge is your superpower. I speak to just so many people getting average results in life, and they just don't want to learn. They have limiting beliefs around learning new skills. They want everybody to spoon feed themselves something. Whereas we're living in an information age. We've got YouTube. We have ChatGPT now and all these AI services where we can ask any question. And the things that these AI, like ChatGPT, Claude AI, and the information you can access on YouTube and Google, you literally have the answer to any problem that a human would have these days. Yet why are people still not successful? So the information is there. The amount of mentors and gurus hitting your newsfeed on sponsored ads are there. But the reason people aren't successful is because they're comfortable. They've got limiting beliefs. They don't believe they're good learners. They don't like tech. They don't want to go through that resistance to learn a new skill and leave a comfortable career. Okay. So you need to believe I am a fast learner. I can learn anything and I am the best at what I do. Everything is happening in my favor. I can achieve anything I set my mind to. Anything is possible. This is one of my favorite ones. Success is not personal. It is structural. It's about having the right routine, processes, and systems in place. If I'm not getting the results I want with my health and fitness, in my relationship, with my finances or business, I'm not a failure. I just have failing systems in my business, relationship, personal life, health and fitness that I need to update and refine. Okay? So it takes the chip off your shoulder and making it personal and about, your human limitations. And it's not about me. We're all created equal. We all start from zero. We all have to go through the same process. I just need to find the right systems and model them from successful people, model their beliefs, their systems, how they operate, how they run businesses. And for example, if I had the same systems with how Alex Hormozy runs his day or his business, then I would get those results too. So it's not Alex, it's just that he has the right systems in how he runs his life. He has the right systems in his business. He has the right people around him to get those types of results, which anybody can do. It's not like he was born, the way he is. He used to be depressed, suicidal, went to uni. He was a normal American, but he's just gotten mentors, acquired the right systems to get to where he is. Okay. So it's my belief that anybody can be successful. Anyone can be a millionaire. Anyone can be a billionaire. Anyone can be successful in where they apply their mind, but they just have to have the right routine and systems and habits daily, and they'll eventually get there. Number 10, this is really good for appointment setting. People love me and love talking to me. People love me and love talking to me. If you have that belief, the response you're going to get from people is going to be completely different. If you just expect that they're waiting on the end of the call and they're like, yes, I'm so happy that you're calling. 11, God of the universe is intensely committed to my success, health, happiness, and fulfillment. 12, rejection is protection and redirection to more money and sales. Imagine any time you got rejected and you just got in your feelings for a little bit or got frustrated because someone hasn't picked up after 20 calls, or you start feeling rejected because you didn't close 3 sales calls in a row. And then you just go, this rejection is just protection and redirection to making me more money and sales and better opportunities. It's fueling me. It's making me stronger. It's making me better. 13, every lead I talk to wants to book, show up, and buy. I have so much value to offer. 14, I am a world-class remote sales professional. I book appointments and make sales easily and effortlessly. 15, every single client who enrolls and follows the system will succeed. 16, if a lead doesn't commit on the call, 90% won't buy later. You must close them on a final decision-making call, and at minimum, get a signed agreement or micro deposit. Seal the deal. So this is a general rule in sales, guys. You never want to leave an appointment setting call without booking another appointment, whether it's a triage call or booking a close call or a follow-up call. Or if you're on the final decision-making call, they've gone through all the content and you set up the call. You never want to leave the call without getting the agreement signed or a deposit, because 90% likely they'll ghost, they'll bounce, or they'll just send you a message the next day and go, hey, talk to the partner and she believes because of the economy it's not the right timing, or things are a bit tight right now. Okay. Number 16 is one of the biggest mistakes new salespeople make. They'll let people off an appointment setting call and they won't book another appointment and really firm it up. Or they'll close someone, they'll give them a verbal yes and say, yeah, I really want to do it. Can you just send me over the information? I'll get back to you tomorrow. Or they'll be like, yeah, really want to do it. Just got to bounce off the call now. Got to go to an appointment. Got to pick the kids up from school. They'll hop off the call and they'll ghost. And the amount of new salespeople, when they're inexperienced, they'll go into the Slack channel or they'll come into the office and go, yeah, I just made a sale. I spoke to 3 people today. They said they're going to get, I made 3 sales. And then you go, did you get an agreement signed? Did you get the deposit? They're like, no. And then you're like, and then they justify it and they go, yeah, but they're going to come back tomorrow. We had a really good conversation. They said they're going to do it. I'm sure they're going to do it. And everybody just gets this point of embarrassment where we just laugh in their face and go, rookie, never make that mistake in sales. If you don't get a deposit, an agreement signed, or a follow-up appointment that's really firmed up, and you haven't isolated the true unspoken objection, gotten timelines and decisions, then people will just drain your blood as a salesperson and they'll lie to your face because it's too uncomfortable for most people to just be straight up and tell the truth. So they'll tell you what you want to hear, or they'll say anything can give you a smoke screen to get off the call. Okay, so you guys need to drill that in your head that it's 90% likely that if you don't close them on the one call when you've gone through everything or book the next appointment, they're just going to ghost you. And then you'll just play phone tag and you'll lower your positioning. And then eventually you'll just be so pushy where they ignore you. And then they'll go and buy from one of your other competitors. And I've seen it before. Some people that made excuses, they didn't have money. And then you see them on Instagram stories and then they've joined some other training in the space. And then you see them inside of some other network or training. So they're closable. It's just you couldn't close them on that call because you couldn't get past their resistance and bullshit. So it's either their fear is bigger than your certainty and truth, or your truth and self-belief on why they should do it is bigger than their fear. It's the Grant Cardone sell or be sold concept. You're either selling them on their reasons why they need to do it and holding ironclad certainty, or they're selling you on their excuses, bullshit, and fear on why they should remain the same and not do it. So you need to ask the questions to reframe those beliefs, and you need to hold ironclad certainty to get them across the line. Otherwise, they'll just remain the same. "17, if a lead doesn't buy, it means they see more pain in investing money all the time than staying the same. Your job is to make their current reality more painful than the investment or time invested." All right. So, people that don't invest, they either see the money or the time they've got to sacrifice and put into a new training is going to give them more pressure. So then sometimes they would rather not have that pressure and remain the same than invest the money so they can make the change. Okay. So we need to build a gap in their mind from where they are now and where they want to be, and ask like cost of inaction questions like, so what happens if you don't change? What happens if you keep dragging this out in another 90 days? Where will you be? Or reframe it and say, look, everybody's got a busy season in life. The truth is, we're always going to be busy in life. But the most successful people during a busy season, they're still able to time block aside 2 hours a day to focus on their goals. So then when it's an easier season and everything's flowing again, it's going to be a non-negotiable that you maintain those standards because you're not making excuses. Okay. So you just got to realize pretty much anything that anyone says on a sales call is just a lie, and it's just a smoke screen as to why they're not going to book another call or they're not going to close. And we haven't been able to drill down and unpack and isolate the true reason why they're not moving forward. 18, the key to handling objections is to eliminate them early with smart questions. If you handle the objections early, like money, time, or information, think about it, logistics, fear, trust, uncertainty, and you pull them up early and smooth them over, then you can just pick out which ones could potentially occur in the close if they have a partner or not, for example. Are they financially qualified? Are they seeming like they're a busy person where there's going to be a time objection? Do they have sense of urgency where it's the right timing? If we tie all those objections down and ask them early, then they won't occur in the close. Okay, so the key to handling objections is to eliminate them before they occur in the close. It's better to talk about them early when it's a conversation and you bring them up first before they bring them up when you've revealed price and now there's a pressure to make a decision. So they get in their head and they start making excuses and giving you stories. 19. If your sincerity is 10 out of 10, certainty is 10 out of 10, and the offer is 10 out of 10, you will close like a machine. So this is coming back to genuine intent. If you're genuine and they feel like you care, you're sincere, it's 10 out of 10 on the call. Your certainty and conviction is 10 out of 10. And the offer is a match to them in terms of they want someone in Australia, you can help them invest in property and you're credible and it syncs up to their needs and pain points, then the offer will be 10 out of 10. Okay. Another sync is if someone wants to learn remote closing, they prefer to work with someone from Australia and they want, support with placement, then that's a match with our training. I'm Australian, they want to learn remote closing. I'm one of the only one that does it and I help with placement. And they're like, bang, bang, bang. It's everything they need. Okay. That's where you get like product to market fit. People hate being sold to, but they love to buy. Don't sell, just talk naturally and ask the right questions so they come to their own conclusion. So this is the golden art, guys, of the modern day salesperson. It's more about asking questions where we pull up their intrinsic pain points, wants, needs, and desires. And we ask questions where we pull up their own inner limiting beliefs, concerns, and objections around buying. But we don't we ask questions where they verbalize their pain points and objections. I think it's in one of the books, how to think and influence people. There's some concepts in there that people don't like to be sold to. They like people that speak to their interests and they like people that ask questions where they come to their own conclusions.
That's in How to Win Friends and Influence People.
That's it, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah.
Famous book. So there's some concepts in there around, instead of telling, ask questions where people come to their own conclusions. Speak to people's own interests and values versus your own and your own agendas and make it about them. Because anytime you do a business deal, you approach a business like Shark Tank, or you go to sell someone, they're not thinking about your reasons. They're always thinking the word with them, which is, what the fuck is in it for me? They might not think that blunt, but they're thinking, what's in it for me? What's the bottom line? What do you get out of this? Or why are you giving all this value away? What do you get out of it? Sometimes people ask. Well, that all sounds awesome. You're going to, provide me salespeople. But what do you get out of this? What do you want out of this? Why are you telling me all this, or why are you giving this value for free? So a lot of people are naturally skeptical and they assume that things are going to cost money. There's going to be a price, or that you want something out of it because it's a selfish world and, people are being burnt. So you just got to remember that you need to speak from the frame of their why, their values, their needs, wants, and goals, because people are always thinking, what's in it for me? And people like people who are like them, and people like people who talk to their interests, and people like the sound of their own voice, and people want to be heard. So that's why they need to be talking more than you, and you need to be the one controlling the interaction, asking questions, pulling up their truth, and having, them be heard and share their inner world. If you're waffling, talking more than them, you're interrupting them, you're cutting them off, then they just won't feel heard. In a world where no one listens, people just want people who listen. And if you listen more than you speak, where they speak 60% of the time and you ask questions, acknowledge what they say, make statements, and add value some of the time, which is 40% of the time, then that's the right equation. And many salespeople don't get that. They just waffle and get on a script and talk over the top of someone. The next one, go hard or go home. You're literally on a sales call. Like, just see it for what it is. It's just a speck in time. It's one moment in time. It's just a sales call. It's so insignificant. you'll most likely never see this person again. So sometimes we just need to zoom out to all the planets, all the stars, that there's billions of people on planet Earth, that there's all these countries and continents, and zoom out from our little situation in our little postcode, in our little house, that this issue that this person just hung up or didn't buy or swore at me or is being a bit arrogant and in their ego or a bit skeptical. And we're making this huge problem in our head. But when we zoom out, we'll ask ourselves, is this going to matter in a week? Is this going to matter in 12 months? Is this going to matter when I'm 80 and on my deathbed? Is this really a world, political issue like the pandemic? It's just so insignificant, guys. Like, some of you are so afraid to just speak with conviction, be expressive, be who you are, in fear of what people think. And in the grand scheme of things, if you zoom out, it's so insignificant. Okay? So there is no excuse to not go for the close with certainty, handle objections, and ask for referrals. Remove emotion, bring your A game. So you just need to remind yourself, I'm between four walls. I need to set appointments and close or I don't make money. Would I rather piss myself off because I'm not living to my values, my goals, providing for my family and getting to where I want to be? Or would I rather just prod and sort of slightly challenge and create a bit of resistance in my prospect because I decide to objection handle 2-3 more times? Because I asked for that referral when most people are afraid to. Because I asked that extra commitment question to firm up and know with ironclad certainty they're going to show to the next call. Because I asked them what the hesitation is around them watching the resources. All right. So sometimes you just got to get out of your head, guys, into your truth, and literally realize you're never going to see this person. You're between four walls. Like, get over yourself. Stop taking yourself so seriously. Just do what you need to do to set appointments and, be expressive, be certain, speak with authority, and get out of your head. 22, I choose the end result of being $1 million remote closer, banking millions in cash while changing lives. 23, we are the prize. They reached out for a reason. They have a problem. Hold authority and connect it genuinely. Uncover their true pain points, have the real conversation about their pain points and goals. Prescribe a solution, handle objections up front, and get them started. That's literally all we're doing, guys, in a sales call. We hold the authority in the frame that they put their details in or they book the call because they're the one with the problem. Otherwise, they wouldn't scroll across the internet feed, fill out a form for a free training, or book a call if they're not interested. So we need to hold that frame. They need us. We don't need them because they're the one that booked the call and put their details in. So we are the authority. We have what they want. We are the prize. They reached out for a reason. We need to hold that frame and authority that they have the problem. I couldn't give a shit if they're doing over 10 million a year, million a month, 2-3 million a month. They're a billionaire. If they're booking a call and you might be a health and fitness expert where, you have one of the best physiques and health in the world, like, do you think the UFC trainers and UFC fighters that are, training Mark Zuckerberg right now, who's the owner of Facebook, who's one of the wealthiest men on planet Earth, do you think they're afraid to teach him wrestling, boxing, mixed martial arts just because he's a billionaire? No, because they're credible in that area. So sometimes, even if someone's a billionaire, you can't put them on a pedestal and shrink down because they've come to you because you're the expert and authority figure in that one specific area where they want to grow. Okay? So just remember that in the essence, they have a specific pain point and they're coming to you because you're the authority and expert that can help them get to where they want to go. So it doesn't matter if they're Donald Trump or a millionaire or billionaire. If they have that pain point, you're the authority figure and expert that can solve it. And you've obviously got the track record through what you sell, of hundreds of clients doing it. So you should be confident. 24, the key to every sales call is genuine intent and getting to the truth. Disarm them with your tone, be real, and have a natural human to human interaction. Same formula I mentioned before. The lead talks 60% of the time, you talk 40% of the time. Ask smart questions, make statements and acknowledge what they just said so they feel heard. Have honest conversations, add value in doses some of the time to add to what they've said and show that you're an authority. Probe deeper where you need to by saying things like, tell me more about that, or I noticed some hesitation, what's behind that? Or can you elaborate more on that? Or I noticed some hesitation there, what's behind that? Or when you say, you know, that you need to think about it, what do you feel is coming up for you? They're all probing questions. That's where we get a chance to go deeper and we get to the truth. Handle concerns early and raise their commitment. In the end, it's your truth versus their truth. It's their fear versus your truth that they should do it. We're holding them to the best version of themselves. So we need to hold them to their higher self, the 10x version that believes they can achieve everything, that can make the millions or make the 150,000 years a remote closer. So if they're saying all those things, we need to hold them higher. We need to hold them to that level. And then when they go, oh yeah, but you know, it's $6,000. I can't really afford it right now. The cost of living, the economy. Well, it's like, hold on. Would the version of you that's making 150,000 a year as a remote closer working in Thailand, would he have this same excuse? Or is that their old identity? So that's a chance for us to raise their commitment and get them refocused back on the end result and the identity of who they want to become versus adopting their old beliefs, scarcity, and identity down here. Okay. So a lot of the time why people don't buy, guys, is because we need to hold them higher. We need to raise their standards, their commitment, and give them the right beliefs and views. And, you know, by reframing their inner dialogue and views on things so they actually buy. The lead should always be emotionally invested more than you and speak honestly. I believe most salespeople are having the wrong conversation. They're having a surface level ego conversation. So you need to have the real conversation that is behind their ego, external persona and facade, and all their achievements that they want to rail off and big note to you. You need to enter their world with natural curiosity. So an example of that I shared before is my friend. He was talking to a guy that's one of the best personal trainers, and he charges, you know, $1,000 just for a 1 hour PT session. And he's like a genius at what he does, the best. He gets people insane results. He holds them accountable. And, you know, he's just a gun at what he does. And he just has thousands of testimonials across years. And he's one of the most renowned experts in the space. And sometimes these people that have a lot of like are high achievers, more sophisticated, and they're doing well in their life compared to the average person, sometimes they've got a bit of ego and a facade. So they'll be like, oh yeah, you know, I'm getting all these results with my clients. I don't really feel like I need a marketing agency or business coach. We're getting all these results. And sometimes you've got to ask questions that just, you know, penetrate through that facade and ego they have and really just get to the bottom of it, or ask questions that get past their ego, where you're asking so many questions in a row where after a while it's hard for them to sort of maintain that facade. So sometimes you've got to be direct with some people and ask a permission question like, hey, James, do you mind if I'm honest with you for a minute? If you're so smart, how come you're not rich and you're only making 5,000 a month? You know, so that's sometimes what you can say to someone. Okay, if you're so smart and you're doing this OnlyFans agency, digital marketing agency, you know, you're running a drop shipping business, and you don't think you need our help because you're doing all these things, then why are you only making 10,000 a month and not 150,000 a month like you want to? So sometimes you just need to hit them with the elephant in the room, the uncomfortable truth. But most people are afraid to do that because normally high achievers, sophisticated prospects, they've got a lot of certainty. They speak with a lot of confidence. But when you really decipher their situation, there's a gap. There's something missing. And they've come to that call for that reason. But if you don't really ask those questions, so then why are you here? Yeah, like I get it. I acknowledge, you know, you've got 5 cafes, you've won all these awards. but what brings you to this call? So sometimes when you're selling to business owners and they're really proud of what they're doing, they'll come to a call with this facade and they want to talk about their business because they're really passionate about it and they're doing well. But they're not sharing the truth behind the scenes, that they're barely able to pay payroll, that they're behind on their ATO bill, that they've got all these constraints in their business because they're just showing, the highlight reel. So if you have that assumption with every person, that every person has insecurities, problems, they're only a human just like us, no matter what the external facade is, you sort of start to call a spade and you start to see that everything online on social media and every business owner has problems, but social media and what they're sharing is more just the small positives versus the truth of their life. So you just need to have that awareness so that you can cut through sometimes people's ego, but you're doing it in a way that's not going to trigger defense and their ego. You know what I mean? You got to do it in a way that opens them up. And that's why I like asking permission questions like, hey, Nick, do you mind if I'm honest with you? Or with my friends when they don't want advice because they don't like to be told, because the male ego, it's easier if you just go, hey, do you want my advice on this? Or hey, do you want some feedback? You know what I mean? Then they're more open to hearing it because they said yes. So you're pacing them into it. Whereas if you just start giving them unsolicited advice, or you just start projecting on them or going, oh, well, dude, if I can get it sorted then. The Rock trains twice a day at the gym, why can't you? Sometimes you'll trigger your friend's ego and then they'll get their pride up, even though that it's true. But then because of the way that you've said it, they're not going to take it on board and listen because you've offended them. You know what I mean? So sometimes your friends just want you to be their friends. They don't want you to just be all commando and coach on them. So sometimes you've got to ask, hey, do you want my advice on this? And they'll be more open to hearing it. And it's the same thing in sales. Hey, do you want feedback on this? Hey, do you mind if I give you some advice on this? Or do you mind if I'm honest with you for a second? Or sometimes you just got to prod and nod a little bit. And they're like, oh, yeah, everything's all good in our business. We just need more leads, but it's all right. We've got the solutions. We're sort of implementing them already. And then you go, okay, is that the only thing, or is there anything else, if you were honest? And you need to have like that slightly skeptical tone. And then that's where people feel like, oh, he's prodding for like a real genuine answer now. And they've got to give you a bit more. So just doing those things, sometimes it puts people in the hot seat, and just doing that a little bit, it gets a better answer out of them, a more truthful answer. So if people are like, yeah, we're doing this, we're fine, we don't feel like we need help. And then you got to say things like, so what brings you to the call? What are you struggling with right now, if you were honest? Or what's one area that you would fix in your business if we could help you? Okay. So that's pretty much it, guys. Final thoughts. You are in control of every sales call and must hold authority where the conversation goes. You have the skills, mindset, and certainty to win. Genuine intent, high conviction, authority, natural curiosity when asking questions, and hold certainty when closing. Go out there, set appointments, and close sales. So you should read this every day, guys, but you can scan through it in probably 5 minutes, and then maybe you can choose 5 that you really want to focus on and just get in that state in front of the mirror. I'm telling you, if you read this every day for 60 days, it will just reprogram your beliefs around sales. You'll remove junk beliefs and your inner game will be rock solid. Cool. So which one of that stood out like the most out of the 25? Which one did you feel a shift, or you feel like it's going to really help you? Just at the top of the mind, which one?
I just love the fact that if you relate back to things being systemized in a process, that you can say to yourself, I don't have to be a guru and I don't have to be so super incredibly skilled. I just have to be prepared to learn and follow and be disciplined and apply myself to a process. And that process, it'll take me forward. Even if that's just one step at a time, I'm still moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. Marketing and sales is just following a process. If the process is dialed and refined, you make sales. It's just a machine, and if you can get salespeople that follow the process because you've designed it to an art form where it really hits the pain points and syncs to your ideal avatar, then you'll close sales. Guys, you just can't skip steps. You got to just get yourself into that right belief system, have the right tone, ask the right questions, and get that right flow down, and people will close. It's pretty simple. Who has
I
another
think
one?
one I
Yeah.
think one thing for me was just realizing that they've got the problem, you've got the solution. So you're on the pedestal in their eyes. Well, you should be, and that's why you need to have that authoritative tone and just really like think to yourself, you've got the solution, they need you. And that's what's like, yeah, really important.
Yeah, and sometimes you need to remind yourself of that. Like we've helped millions of people. Look at all your reviews, your testimonials, go to your win bank of all your clients and look at that and remind yourself of how many people you've helped or the company you're selling for and realize when they're giving you a skeptical response, they're making 20,000 a month in their business and you've helped people get to 100,000 a month and they're like, oh, no, it's all good. We don't need help. Sometimes you can take that at face value and go, oh, they're not interested. They don't need help. But then you think about it and reflect about how many people you've helped and the type of results you can get them. And you're like, that's just bullshit. They're just giving you a knee-jerk reaction early in the process because they haven't gone through your social media and they're making an uneducated knee-jerk decision when they don't even know everything about what your company does and offer. But new salespeople, they take that at face value when someone says, oh, I'm busy, I'm not interested, or, we're fine, we're doing all good in the business. Instead of probing and going, oh, that's interesting. I've never met a business owner that doesn't have a problem before. You must be the first. So sometimes you got to get through to people and they'll be taken a bit back because they haven't had anyone